Since the last segment, I made some subtle adjustments to the schedule. I just took some of the peaks that I saw and shifted their dates a couple of days in either direction to bring this schedule into a more proper balance. This is still not a realistic balance. It's just for demonstration purposes, but it's a lot more achievable, especially as you'll see once we get done with the mitigation strategy. However, at this point, what I'd like to get into is how we use exclusion zones to help make sense of our schedule. Tririga allows us the ability to specify for each asset one period of time that we'll choose not to work on that asset. So of course we've included that functionality within this tool. In this case, I'm going to use the holiday season as my primary point of concern. I want to make sure that I can achieve my PM schedule as best as possible in the time following the holiday season. So I need to set aside assets that I'm not concerned about doing PM on. This is actually a fairly simple process, as I think you'll soon see. But to make this process work, I've had to know what my assumptions are going to be. So moving to the PMTL Assignments tab, you'll notice column D has new values that weren't there previously. I brought in some additional data. Now this involves using nested functions in Excel, but if you do a Google search on index match, you'll find a very comprehensive set of tutorials that will help you understand how I did this easily. Suffice it to say, all I did was bring in condition index scores for each of my assets, and this is information directly out of the PM1 report. In order to make these sets of assumptions, I'm going to say during the holiday season, all I want to work on are boilers whose condition is worse than 75. The ones that are well off, I don't need to worry about. They're not likely to break. And everything else, I think it's in generally good condition, so we're just going to go with it. This is not a proper set of assumptions for a real schedule, but for the purpose of demonstration, you'll see what I'm referring to. So the first thing I want to do is remove all of the boilers from my asset list. It's easy enough. All I need to do is go to the filter, and as you might suspect, I can deselect boilers out of this list. But I'd like to show you one other method. Under text filters, we have an option for does not contain. And I'm just going to type in the word boiler and click OK. Immediately, all of my boilers have evaporated. Now I have a list of assets that I can specify a single exclusion zone for. So I scroll over to the column that has my exclusion zone, and then I type in the dates that I'm concerned about. The exclusion zone starts at the 21st of December and ends on the 12th of January. So I'm just going to type in 21 December and 12 January. Now I'm going to select the cells that I just typed in. I'll copy like we did before with the dates. I'm selecting all of the cells in the columns for that table and clicking paste values. Now it's important to note, this part of the process does take a while. It'll still take just about 45 seconds or so, maybe less, but it seems like a long time. We now have specified every one of our non-boiler assets to be excluded during the holiday season. The next part is to select all of the boilers that I believe are in good condition and will last. So I'm going to clear my filters